presentation. I'm going to start a presentation. Okay, students. So, good morning.
Good morning, teacher. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, students, remember that today is Wednesday, September 28th. Remember that today is Wednesday, September 28th. 28. Students, in English, ¿cómo pregunta usted en inglés qué día es hoy?
What day is today?
Very good. What day is today? What day is today? Wednesday. What day is today? Wednesday. What day is today? Wednesday. Remember, sometimes you are confused. Sometimes you are confused and you say, hey, what day is today? Wednesday. Parece lunes. No, Wednesday. Parece domingo. Wednesday. So sometimes you are like confused. Wednesday. Wednesday, students. So remember that today is Wednesday, September 28. Wednesday, September 28. Students, and ¿cómo pregunta usted en inglés qué fecha es hoy? ¿Qué fecha es hoy? In English. What's the day today? What's the day today? Cuando yo quiero saber la fecha, what's the day today? Yeah. And then you are going to receive the information Wednesday, September 28. ¿Cuándo es Navidad? ¿Cuándo es Navidad? December 25th, for example. Very good. ¿Cuándo es Halloween? October 31st. When, what's the date of your birthday? So you are going to obtain the information. Well, students, remember that we have greetings. We have the greetings. Students, remember that you say sometimes, how are you? How are you? Ya se está convirtiendo en algo como que está cayendo en desuso. Ya la gente no está utilizando how are you. Yes. Rara la persona que utiliza how are you. Okay. Very good. Yes. How are you? La mayoría de las personas está diciendo how you doing. How you doing? Yes. How you doing? How you doing? So they are using how are you? Yes. Yeah. But it's more popular. Está siendo más popular. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I'm fine. How you doing? I'm fine. So remember to say now all the time, how you doing? Jesus, how you doing? Jennifer, how you doing? Yeah. Remember when you are going to greet people, cuando vaya a saludar a la gente, when you are going to greet people, Angelica, how you doing? Jesus, how you doing? Carlos, how you doing? Daniela, how you doing? David, how you doing? Danielson, etc. Teacher, how you doing? So remember, how are you? Yes, but it's more popular. How you doing? How you doing? So remember, how you doing is more popular. Okay, students, let's start with the class. Let's start with the class. Today, what are we going to talk about, students? Today, we are going to talk about illnesses and injuries. Illnesses and injuries. In Spanish, students, illnesses and injuries. Teacher. Enfermedades. Ok. Enfermedades y malestares, molestias. That's what we are going to study today. Illnesses and injuries. Illnesses and injuries. Okay, students. Dolor de espalda in English. Backache. Backache. Backache, student. So we are going to use the expression ache, yes? Backache. So remember that this is the sound that indicates dolor. Backache. Backache. Oh, backache. Very good. How do you say in English un brazo fracturado o un brazo partido? A teacher, broken arm. Broken arm. Yes. Remember that here we need to know the parts of the body. ¿Se sabe las partes del cuerpo? Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher. Okay. Broken arm. Broken arm. Dolor de espalda in English? Oh, teacher, backache. Backache. Brazo fracturado, brazo partido. Broken arm. Broken arm. How do you say tener un resfriado in English? A cold. A cold. So here we have a cold. Brazo fracturado in English? A broken arm. Dolor de espalda? Oh, teacher, backache. Backache. Resfriado in English? A cold. A cold. Okay, students, and here we have this, dizzy. What is dizzy, student? Dizzy is mareos. Yeah, maybe you have a hangover. De pronto tiene algún guayabo. El dizzy. De pronto la muchacha está embarazada en estos tiempos de COVID. Dizzy. So that is dizzy. Dizzy. Student, how do you say in English tener fiebre? Teacher, a fever. A fever. A fever. Yo no tengo fiebre, tengo una fiebre, dicen los Americans. American. A fever. Mareos en English? Dizzy. Un resfriado en English? A cold. Dolor de espalda en English? Backache. Mareo en English? Dizzy. Fiebre in English? A fever. A fever. Okay, students. What about dolor de cabeza in English? When you say dolor de cabeza in English, we are going to say headache, ache. Remember, what is color red? Eso es lo que indica el dolor. Y lo uno con la parte del cuerpo. Headache. 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 Very good. Headache. Dolor de espalda. A backache. Yeah. Just say you have a backache. Backache. Vómitos in English, students. Nausea. Nausea. Okay. You're going to have nausea. Nausea. ¿Por qué? Comió something, you are intoxicated. Maybe you have an intoxication and you're going to have a nausea. Okay. Good. Nausea. Student, what about dolor de estómago in English? Okay, teacher, in English, that is the stomach ache. Oh, stomach ache. Remember class that this is the most important. Here we have the suffix. Tenemos una palabra sufijo. ¿Qué es un sufijo? No, sufijo me enseñaron en preescolar, que es una palabra que se coloca al final de otra palabra. Aquí tenemos a suffix that is going to be stomach ache, 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 stomach ache. Yes, in Spanish, stomach ache. No, stomach ache, that's it. Students, pay attention. Esto ya lo están cambiando. So they say an upset stomach. An upset stomach. What is an upset stomach, students? It's the same stomach ache. So you can say stomach ache, or you can say an upset stomach. Upset stomach is like when you feel, for example, se comió una hamburguesa, oh, me cayó mal, an upset stomach. Se comió 5 butifarras con una empanada, okay, an upset stomach. So, that's it. Se tomó una cerveza que estaba mala, an upset stomach. So those are illnesses, or maybe the other thing. Or maybe you have a black eye. Student, what is a black eye? Maybe accidentally se golpeó el ojo, an accident. So you're going to have a black eye. In Spanish, Colombian eye, un Colombian eye. Antes se decía a Colombian eye o a Venezuelan eye. And now they say oh, inflamado o herido, a black eye. A black eye. Students, let's continue on the last one. We are going to have a cut. Maybe you have a cut, student. Maybe you are injured. And then this is what we are doing. Look at this. How are you? Teacher, pero how are you no se utiliza. No, no se utiliza como saludo. Cuando usted llega a un lugar, usted no diga how are you. Usted tiene que decir how you doing. How you doing? Llega a la oficina, how you doing? Llega a su casa, how you doing? Supermarket, you go to the supermarket, you arrive to the supermarket. Llega al supermercado, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How are you? Cuando usted llega donde el doctor y el doctor le pregunta a usted, ¿cómo se siente usted? How are you? I'm sick. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm good. So remember, students, that we are talking about aches and pains. We are going to talk about that situation. So what is the purpose? What is the goal? ¿Cuál es el goal? ¿Cuál es el goal de la clase de hoy, students? Indicar qué hago yo according to the situation. Dependiendo de la situación, qué voy a hacer yo. What I'm going to do. What I'm going to do. So depending on the situation. ¿Qué haces cuando tienes dolor de espalda? Ok. Cuando tienes una torcedura. Ok. Cuando tienes dolor de cabeza. Ok. You got a fever. Ok. So that is the situation. Let's continue, class. So when you are going to say what you have, you are going to say I have, student. I have. I have. All the time, you are going to say I have. Yes? So that's what we are going to do now, students. So here we have this. One moment. Okay, students, look at this. They say, I have a fever. Okay, I have a fever, student. I have a fever. Number 2, I have a bad cough. Oh, I have a bad cough. Headaches. Okay, how do they ever get headaches? I have a headache. Number 4, I have a cold and a sore throat. I have a cold and a sore throat. So remember, class, all the time, cuando te va a decir cómo se siente desde el punto de vista de la salud o qué inconveniente tiene desde el punto de vista de la salud, student, you are going to say I have. I have. I have. Yes? Okay, all the time. He's going to say, how do you say tengo dolor de espalda? I have a backache. Tengo un brazo fracturado. I have a broken arm. I have a broken arm. Tengo un resfriado. Okay, I have cold. I have a cold. Student, tengo mareos. I am dizzy. I am dizzy. Or I feel dizzy. So it's different. Yes? It's different. Teacher, pero ¿por qué cambia? Es algo sencillo. Así como cuando usted conoce a una persona, una se llama Pedro, la otra se llama Juan, la otra se llama Judas, la otra se llama Mateo, la otra se llama Simón. So, depends. You're going to memorize the names. Tengo fiebre. I have a fever. Yes? So, student, in that way, what are you going to do? You are going to talk about things. So, look at this, student. Look at this. When I have a fever, when I have a rash, when I have a headache. Yes? When I have a fever, when I have a rash, when I have a headache. So what are you going to do? You are going to answer my questions. For example, student, for example, what do you do? Remember, class, what do you do es la palabra mágica. Why? Because what do you do is the base of everything. ¿Qué haces tú when you have a fever? What do you do when you have a fever, student? What do you do when you have a fever? When I have a fever, I take an aspirin. When I have a fever, I take an aspirin. Student, pay attention, I take. Remember that we are going to use take when I'm talking about me voy a tomar algo. Cuando me voy a tomar una medicina. Cuando me voy a tomar una medicina, yo digo I take. Sea líquido, tablet, yes, capsule, you're going to say I take. Cuando utilizo drink, cuando usted se va a tomar un jugo. Cuando usted tiene sed y va a tomarse algo, algún líquido, I drink. But when you are talking about medicine, you are going to say I take. I take. What do you do when you have a fever? I take an aspirin. I take an aspirin. Student, what do you do when you have a toothache? Teacher dice que es un toothache. Yes. What do you do when you have a toothache? When I have a toothache. Yes. Very good. Yes. Un dolor de muelas. When I have a toothache, I go to the dentist. When I have a toothache, students, I go to the dentist. When I have a toothache, remember, we are using when. Yes, we are using when. Why? Because we are going to indicate, vamos a indicar in that moment. Yes, I'm talking about in that situation, in that moment, in that situation. What do you do when you have a toothache? When I have a toothache, comma, I go to the dentist. Remember that we are using the simple present. Teacher, ¿qué es el simple present? Utilizar el tiempo, utilizar los verbos. Sin el to, yes. For example, what do you do when you have a rash? Teacher, ¿y qué significa rash? Cuando tiene una irritación en la piel. Cuando tiene una rasquiña. Cuando tiene una rasquiña. Entonces no se les olvide. Rasquiña viene rash. It's very easy. It's associate. Y muchas palabras del español están asociadas con el inglés. Palabras viejas, inglés antiguo. Perdón, español antiguo. What do you do when you have a rash? When I have a rash, I use an ointment. Oh, very good, students. I use an ointment. I use, teacher, ¿por qué no utilizamos I take? Porque I take es lo que usted se va a tragar desde el punto de vista de la medicine. When you are talking about the medicine, you use I take cuando se lo traga. Yes, una tablet or a liquid. But cuando usted se va a aplicar una crema, usted dice I use an ointment. ¿Y qué es un ointment, student? An ointment is Caladril. An ointment is a dermatologist cream. A dermatology cream that you are going to use. I use an ointment. So student here, what do you do when you have a stomach ache? When I have a stomach ache, I take heterogermin. Heterogermin. Okay. Student, remember, otra forma de decir dolor de estómago o de dolor de barriga. When I have an upset stomach. When I have an upset stomach. So student, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now, students? You are going to answer the questions. Yes? You are going to answer the questions. And what are you going to do? You are going to use when I have. Yeah? Depending of the situation, you are going to say when I have. Right? For example, student, for example, what do you do when you have an earache? Teacher, ¿qué es un earache? Ear, la palabra, la parte del cuerpo, ear. So you are going to associate. When I have an earache, you are going to answer the question, student. That's what we are going to do now. Look at this. When I have an earache, I don't know. Okay, student. In Spanish, earache. In Spanish, earache, student.
Dolor de oído, profe.
Dolor de oído, yes, very good. Okay, student. What do you do when you have an earache? What do you do when you have an earache?
Teacher, I take a pill.
You take a pill. Very good. But remember, complete information. When I have an earache, I take a pill. Okay, very good. Other option, another option. Or plan B, plan A. When I have an earache, I take a pill. Plan B, when you have an earache, what do you do, student? When I have an earache, I
take a nap.
I take a nap. Very good, students. Look at the options. There are different options. I take a nap. Teacher, what is a nap? You sleep for a moment. You sleep 1 hour, or sleep 2 hours, or sleep 20 minutes. So depending on the situation. Situation number 2. Student, what do you do when you have a flu? Student, what do you do when you have a flu? ¿Cómo se contesta? Ok, students. Se contesta comenzando con lo que está de color negro. When you are going to answer, student, you are going to take when I have a flu, blah, 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 blah. But remember that is the answer. Teacher, ¿y por qué al comienzo? Porque usted está haciendo una introductory class. Porque usted le está dando importancia que en ese momento yo hago eso. When I have a flu. Solamente cuando tengo flu es que hago eso. Si no tengo flu, no lo hago. Yes? Okay, student. What do you do when you have a flu? What do you do when you have a flu?
When I have a flu, I drink uh, hot tea.
So remember, you don't say drink because you are talking about medicine. I take a hot tea.
Okay, teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say I drink hot
I
tea.
confused because tea is a drink.
Yeah, but remember that you are using it because you have a flu.
Okay.
Yeah. Como tienes dolor, como tienes resfriado, me lo voy a tomar porque tengo el resfriado. Lo está tomando como una especie de medicine. Teacher, eso no es una medicina. No, eso no es una medicina. Eso se le llama home remedies. Home remedies, yes. Home remedies, students. I'm going to write it here. When you are talking about this, when you are talking about home remedies. Teacher, ¿y qué son los home remedies? Tea, eucalipto, yes. Canela, jengibre. Those are home remedies. Yes. Lemonade, hot lemonade. Those are home remedies. Okay, very good. Yes. Okay, I take hot tea. Oh, hey, when I feel terrible, I take some hot tea. Students, let's continue. What do you do when you have a broken finger? Remember that when we are talking about broken, you are talking about a fracture. When you have a fracture. ¿Y cómo contesto, teacher? It's very easy. Comienza la respuesta comenzando desde el connector when. That's it. So what do you do when you have a broken finger? Teacher, when I have a broken finger, I go to the discotheque. No, 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 no. I go to the supermarket. No. What do you do, students, when you have a broken finger? Remember, when you are talking about broken finger, you are talking about a fracture in a finger. My God, my God. Ya se van a quedar con el dedo fracturado. Please. Imagination. Creativity. Oh, teacher, llama una ambulancia. Una ambulancia. Ok, ¿cómo se dice llamar una ambulance? Teacher, I call an ambulance. Ok. Teacher, llama al 123. No, es el 123 no sirve, entonces vamos a llamar al 911. Ok, very good. Ese sí funciona, el 911. Students, let's continue. What do you do, students, when you have a bad cough? Remember, student, a bad cough. Cuando usted tose en la mañana, en la media mañana, al mediodía, a la 1, a las 2, a las 3, a las 4, a las 5, all the time. What do you do when you have a bad cough? Remember, students, si usted se va a tomar una medicina, I take. Yes. Student, what do you do when you have a bad cough? Si quiere utilizar home remedies, okay, you are going to use home remedies. Okay, students, what do you do when you have a bad cough? Okay, in my case, in the teacher's case, when I have a bad cough, I take silencium bit. Silencium bit. Okay, teacher, eso ya no existe. Okay. When I have a bad cough, I take some honey combined with lemon. Honey and lemon, I take a spoon. I take a spoon of honey and lemon. Let's continue. Student, another situation. What do you do when you have a runny nose? Teacher, what is a runny nose? This is a runny nose. When you have a runny nose. In Spanish, runny nose. In Spanish, when your nose is closed. When you have a nasal congestion. What do you do when you have a runny nose, student? What do you do when you have a runny nose? Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me. Teacher, when I have a runny nose, I take aspirin. Aspirin. Okay, aspirin. Okay, aspirin. Let's continue, students. Another situation. What do you do when you have a sore throat? Teacher, and what is a sore throat? A sore throat is when you have a pain. Me duele la garganta. Sore significa dolores. Dolores. When I have a sore throat. Cuando tengo una garganta adolorida. ¿Por qué? Porque se le trancó una espina, a fishbone. And maybe. What do you do when you have a sore throat? Okay, when I have a sore throat, I take a spoon of lemon. A lemon spoon. I take a lemon spoon. Remember that the options are, yes? Okay, students, look at this situation. What do you do when you feel run down? Run down. Si usted ha ido a San Andrés, usted ha escuchado el run down. Yes? Si no ha ido a San Andrés, lo está escuchando en la clase. What do you do when you feel run down? Feel run down. Sorry.
Teacher, what is rundown?
Rundown is when you don't have energies. Cuando te sientes desanimado. No energies, cuando no tienes energía, cuando no tienes fuerza para hacer nada. So, what do you do when you feel run down? So, students, what are you going to do? You are going to give the teacher, one, two, three, four tips. Yes? So you are going to give the teacher 4 tips. Four tips. Give the teach 4 tips, students. Teacher, ¿y por qué coloca teach? Teach es cuando usted le dice al profesor, profe, hey teach. You can say teach. Or you can say teacher. That's going to be the same. Okay, students, what is the situation? You are going to give the teacher 4 tips. Yes? You are going to give the teacher 4 tips, so the teacher is going to find a solution to the problem. And what is the problem? The teacher feels run down. Cuando usted se siente sin ánimo, sin energía, decaído, desanimado, That is run down. ¿Por qué estaba diciendo en San Andrés? Porque cuando te vas a San Andrés y se toma un run down, es como una sopa que si usted, cuando usted se toma esa sopa, usted queda como Popeye, cuando se comen las spinach. Ok, estudiantes, le voy a dar 5 minutos para que me den 4 tips. So you are going to give the teacher 4 tips. 5 minutes. Right? Okay, students. Remember that the 4 tips are like maybe like based on your point of view, basado en su punto de vista, or maybe based about your friends' situations. Yes, that is most important.
Teacher,
Yes.
I think that I feel run down. I take a bath,
So
a shower, a
when you
shower, excuse me,
when you feel run down, you take a bath, you take a shower.
a
Yes.
shower, and
Okay,
listen,
that is the recommendation number 1. Number 2,
yes,
please, Jennifer.
I listen to energy music like a merengue or hip hop music, music that
Motivates you.
motivate.
Okay, you listen to some motivational music for you, merengue, hip hop, yes,
Yes,
music to exercise, maybe when you go to the gym. Okay, very good. That is number 2. Number 1, you take a shower. Recommendation number 2, you listen to some motivational music. What about the number 3, Jennifer?
well, sometimes I go to the salón de belleza.
To the beauty
Beauty.
parlor.
Okay. And sometimes I go to a spa.
Okay, very good. Okay, students, look at this. Remember that that is personal. I take a shower. I go to the beauty parlor. I listen to motivational music. In my case, merengue, hip hop. Or I go to a spa. So very good. Those are some uh, tips. Those are recommendations that you do. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Another student, please, that is going to give tips or that is going to be some recommendations for the teacher, for Jennifer, yeah, for Angelica, for David, for Jane, for Carly, for Laura, Maria. Okay, students. That's right. Okay, now we are going to make an activity. We are going to do an exercise that you are going to connect two ideas. Yes, you are going to connect two ideas. You are going like you are going to make like a short conversation. That is what you are going to do according to the examples that the teacher is going to give you. Okay, I'm going to project the information. One moment. Sorry. Okay, that's right. Very good. Okay, students, pay attention. Here we have 6 sentences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. For example, question. One, two, three, four, five. I often, number one, I often stay up until 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Number 2, I love sleeping late on weekends. Number 3, I often take a nap during my lunch break. Number 4, I only sleep about 5 hours a night. Number 5, I sometimes fall asleep in lectures. Teacher, que es una lecture, conferencias. Number 6, I usually go to bed early during the week. So student, what are you going to do? Here we have questions. Question, for example, number 1, ¿con cuál se podemos asociar la respuesta número 1? We can match, we are going to match number 1 with the letter E. Really? What do you do all night? What do you do all night? I often stay up until 2 or 3 a.m. That's what you are going to do. And what are the questions? Okay, the question, letter A. Letter A. You do? Does your professor notice? Number 2, letter B. That's good. Do you wake up early too? Letter C. That's not much. Do you get tired during the day? Letter D. At work, how long do you sleep? Letter E is done. Letter F. Hey, me too. Yes. What time do you get up on Saturdays? So students, what are you going to do? You are going to match. ¿Qué significa match? Match es asociar. Pegar. Pegar como así, teacher. Cuando usted se pone la ropa, usted le pregunta a alguien, ¿cómo me queda? Match. Does it match? Does it match? ¿La combinación está buena? Uno dice, no, eso no pega. Doesn't match. Or match. It matches. So it depends on the situation. So students, for example, number 2, I love sleeping late on weekends. What could be? What could be the question? What could be the possible question for I love sleeping late on weekends? It's very easy, students. Tenemos que buscar palabras claves. ¿Cuáles son las palabras claves? Weekend, lunch break, a night, lectures.
Teacher,
Yes?
question F.
Question F. Number 2, excellent. Yes, student. For number 2, the question letter F. Me too. What time do you get up on Sundays? I love sleeping late on weekends. That's it. I love sleeping late weekends. Students, pay attention. ¿Qué están haciendo aquí? Se colocan al comienzo de las preguntas como que unas exclamations, unas expressions para que darle sentido a la conversation. You do? Hey, that's good. That's not much. At work? Really? Hey, me too. So very good. Number 2 is letter F. What time do you get up on Sundays? I love sleeping late on weekends. I'm sorry. Number 3, very easy. I often take a nap during my lunch break. I often take a nap during my lunch break.
Teacher,
Yes?
question 3 with letter C.
Letter C. Do you get tired during the day? Do you get tired during the day? I often take a nap during my lunch break. Yes? Very good. I often take a nap during my lunch break. Students, what do you think? What's your opinion? I love sleeping late on weekends. Me too. What time do you get up on Sundays? So remember, class, ¿qué es lo que estamos haciendo aquí? Yo comienzo con la frase. I often stay up until 2 or 3 a.m. Hey, me too. Excuse me, really? What do you do all night? ¿Y qué haces toda la noche? Number 2, I love sleeping late on weekends. Hey, me too. What time do you get up on Sundays? Y entonces, ¿a qué hora te despiertas? Number 3, I often take a nap during my lunch break. Me dieron una opción. At work, that's not much. Do you get tired during the day? Si yo digo, I often take a nap during my lunch break, ¿qué me preguntaría la otra persona? ¿Qué me pregunta la otra persona si yo digo, I often take a nap during my lunch break? Lunch break. La palabra clave, lunch break. At work, I often take a nap during my lunch break. Y le dice la otra persona como asombrado, at work? At work, en el trabajo. How long do you sleep? ¿Cuántas horas duermes? Okay, so number 3, letter D. Remember, usted está hablando con otra persona y la otra persona le gusta decir expressions. You do. Hey, that's good. That's not much. At work? Really? Me too. Okay, students, number 4. I only sleep about 5 hours a night. Si yo le digo a usted, if I tell you I only sleep 5 hours a night, ¿qué me dice usted? You do? That's good. That's not much. At work? Really? Hey, me too. I only sleep 5 hours a night. In Spanish, I only sleep about 5 hours a night. In Spanish.
Solo duermo 4 horas por la noche.
Yeah, 5 hours a night. La otra persona le pregunta. That's not much. Do you get tired during the day?
Letter C.
Letter C, very good. Letter C, that's not much. Hey, no estás durmiendo mucho. Do you get tired during the day? ¿No te da sueño durante el día? Okay, very good. Number 5, I sometimes fall asleep in lectures. Lectures. In Spanish, lectures. Teacher, lectura. No. Lecture is like a conference. I sometimes fall asleep. No confundan fall asleep con fall in love. ¿Qué prefiere usted? ¿Fall asleep o fall in love? Don't worry. Okay, students, number 5. Yo digo, I say, I sometimes fall asleep in lectures. ¿Qué me contesta la otra persona? What is the answer? What is the answer para qué? Para match.
Teacher, letter A.
Very good, letter A. I sometimes fall asleep in lecture. Hey, you do? Does the professor notice? ¿Y el teacher no se da cuenta? Okay. Number 6, very easy. I usually go to bed early during the week. I usually go to bed early, teacher, early, yes, early is 8 p.m., 8 de la noche. I usually go to bed early during the week. Very easy. Letter
B, profe.
Letter B, of course, letter B. Hey, that's good. Hey, that's good. Do you wake up early too? ¿Y también te levantas temprano? Do you wake up early too? So students, here we have like expressions. Cuando alguien le diga algo, usted dice, you do, y tú haces eso. Hey, that's good. Hey, qué chévere. That's not much. No estás durmiendo, no es, eso no es mucho. At work, at the university, really? Me too. Yeah, those are expressions. Try to use, when you are having a conversation, when you are talking, try to use expression. Hey, you do? Like in Spanish, jura, ira, que va, ni te creo. So expressions like that are these. You do? That's good. That's not much. At work? Really? Wow. Yeah, okay, students. Question for the teacher, class. Question for the teacher. Questions? So remember that what are we doing, the students? We are practicing vocabulary, and we are like having a short conversation. Yes, short conversation using the situation of the health, recommendations, tips. Well, students, now we are going to do 2 more activities. And then after the activities, we are going to stop, right? And then we are going to do it. Hey, what day is today, students? What day is today, student? What day is it today? Tell me. What day is it today, students? No, teacher, I don't know. Look at this. Vocabulary. Under the weather. Under the weather. Teacher, under the weather in Spanish, debajo del clima. No, because that is expression, student. How are you? I'm under the weather. Under the weather is when you feel run down. Cuando te se siente run down. ¿Y qué es un run down? Teacher, no energies. Under the weather se siente desanimado o el ánimo full barro. Okay, students, what are we going to do? Here we have expressions: a break, better, home, in bed, medicine, sick. What are you going to do with these letters? A break, better, home, in bed, medicine, sick. What are you going to do with these words? Students, you are going to connect. Yes, you are going to connect with feel, stay, take. Remember, hay frases o hay palabras de una, dos o tres en una sola. Tenemos que combinarlas, así como dice music, listen to music, go to bed, go dancing, run down. Another one, take a nap. Okay, those are expressions que no la pueden, que solamente van con ese verbo. That's what we are going to do. So here we have feel, stay, and take. Feel, stay, take. What word match? What we are going to match? ¿Con qué match feel? A break, better, home, in bed, medicine, or sick. ¿Y con qué match stay? A break, better, home, in bed, medicine, or sick. Y take, I don't know. Okay, students, tell me. Mientras ustedes van pensando, while you are thinking, look at this. What's the matter? What's the matter? The top 5 health problems. The top 5 health problems chicos talk about are. ¿De qué le gusta hablar más a la gente cuando estamos hablando de salud? Number 1. What's the matter? Maybe they are talking about the cold. Number 2, headaches. Number 3, when allergies. Number 4, flu. And number 4, fever. Fever. British people, they say fever. I have a fever. Australian people also say I have a fever. But the Americans say I have a fever. Okay, students, please. Feel. What is the combination? Match. Match feel. Feel. I feel. Students. I feel. I feel a break. I feel a break. No. Tell me what you feel. Okay, student, feel. I feel better. Okay, I feel better. Hey, George, how are you? Hey, I feel better. Yesterday, I felt terrible, but today, wow, I feel better. Other option. Okay, I feel better. I feel better. Sick. Yeah, I feel sick. Yeah, I feel sick. How's your sister? My sister. Oh, she feels sick. Okay. What about the stay? Okay, stay.
Teacher, stay in bed.
Stay in bed. Very good. That's right. I stay in bed. That's right. Another option.
Stay home.
Very good. I stay home on weekends. I stay in bed on Sunday mornings. That's right. I'm very easy. What about take?
Take medicine.
Take medicine. Very good. That's it. I take medicine. And the other one is
Take a break.
take a break. Remember that when you take a break is when you are going to stop working for a moment. Yes? Stop working. Take a break. A break. Take a break. When you are playing soccer, they say, hey, take a break. Let's take a break. Stop working for a moment. A break. Hey, that's a question for the teacher class. Question for the teacher. Question for the teacher. Students, question for the teacher. No questions? Okay, students, look at this expression that I'm going to show you here. They say coping with stress. What is coping with stress, students? Coping, la palabra coping es sobrellevando, sobrellevar algo, sobrellevar algo. That is when you say coping, coping with the stress, sobrellevando el estrés. So here, what do you do to cope with stress? What do you do? Look at this. Lo que hago yo, la palabra clave. What do you do to cope with stress? Teacher, ¿por qué usted dice la palabra clave? Porque la palabra clave es what do you do. Quita el what con el when do you do, where do you do, what time do you do, how often do you do. So all the time, that is la palabra clave para empezar, para comenzar a hablar en English, para hablar en English. What do you do to cope with stress? What do you do to cope with the stress? ¿Qué haces tú para sobrellevar el estrés o salir del estrés? Yes. Do you do any of these things? Tell your partner. So class, here we have situation number 1, situation number 2, situation number 3, situation number 4. Student, what is the situation number 1? Tell me, what do you see in the picture, student? What do you see in the picture number 1? Teacher, what is the activity in number 1? Activity number 1 is she's She's painting, teacher. She's painting. Okay, painting. Painting. Okay, that's it. Number two. Number two, I see a girl. That girl is doing some spinning. So she's at the gym. Okay, so exercising. Exercising, spinning, do some spinning, painting. Number three. Okay, number three, I see a girl, a beautiful girl that she's in the park. She's in the park. She's like meditating. So meditation. Yeah, meditation, park. Students, pay attention. Remember, ¿cuál es la diferencia? What is the difference between playground and park? Hablando desde el punto de vista de los Americans, no como los barranquilleros, como los Americans. What is a park and what is a playground? Playground. Voy a preguntarle a Mr. Google. Okay. Students, pay attention. When we are talking about a park es una área de bosques naturales donde usted se sienta. Hay pájaros, there is a birds, river, that is a park. That is a park. And the last one, the other is like a mountain bike. Okay, students, and number four is when you are doing the mountain bike. Yes, when you are riding a bicycle, mountain bike. So, students, suppose, porque ustedes no tienen inconveniente, ustedes no tienen problemas. Yes? Suppose that you have a lot of stress. Imagínense que usted tiene a lot of stress. Wow, a lot of stress. What of these activities would you do to cope with the stress? What of these activities would you do to cope with the stress? Teacher, ¿qué significa cope with stress? ¿Qué haría usted para relajarse? What would you do to relax? What would you do to cope with stress? Yes, yes, yes. What do you do to cope with stress? Letter A, letter B, letter C, letter D. Number one, number two, number three, number four. Tell me your opinion. I want to listen to you. Yes, I want to listen to you, of course. So those are the situations, students. Here we have. What do you prefer, number one or number two?
Number two, teacher.
Why do you prefer number two? Why number two? Why exercising? Why go to the gym?
Yes, I go to the gym 3 days for week.
You go to the gym 3 days per week. You go to the gym 3 days per week. Oh, good. Why, lady? Why do you go to the gym 3 times a week? Why? What is the reason?
Teacher, what the meanings of no sé por salud?
No, you can say to be in shape. To be in shape. Para estar en buena
forma.
Yes, very good. To be healthy. To be healthy.
Okay.
Okay. Or maybe, teacher, it's a hobby for relaxing. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Yes, okay, very. So class, in that way, when you go to the gym, you relax. Why? Because you eliminate the stress. You forget the problems. Hey, very good. Very good, lady. Another students, another opinion? Another opinion? How do you cope? What do you do to cope with the stress? What do you do to cope with the stress? What do you do to cope with the stress? Teacher, I listen to music. Okay, I listen to music to cope with the stress. Teacher, I go shopping. I go shopping to cope with the stress. It's okay, but that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea to cope with the stress. Right? Hey, it's a good idea. Is it a good idea to go shopping to eliminate stress, to cope with the stress? Is it a good idea to go shopping to cope with the stress? Yes, teacher. No, teacher. Hey, students, are you working with the Cambridge, with the digital book? ¿Están trabajando con el digital book? Remember that is good, yes, okay, to work with the digital book. Remember that the teacher is not going to use Eva for activities, no. Eva se va a utilizar solamente para montar videos. Eva is going to be used to show videos, maybe educational videos or maybe expressions. Pero actividades, no. Because the activities are going to be in the Cambridge. Lo que usted hace en Cambridge, that's the activity. That's the activity. Why? Porque en el Cambridge usted va a tener listening, va a tener typing, lo que uno llama writing, pero como no va a utilizar los dedos, sino va a apoyar el teclado, se llama typing. And also it's going to be comprehension. That is going to be an interaction. You're going to have like a conversation.
Diana tiene esta cámara encendida.
Question for the teacher. Question for the teacher. Yes.
What activity is in Cambridge?
The activities that we are going to have in Cambridge are the unit number 3 and unit number 4. Las actividades que ustedes van a hacer en Cambridge son la unit number 3 and unit number 4. ¿Qué hacen? ¿Qué se está trabajando en la unidad número 3 que la terminamos hoy? En la unidad número 3 es simple present. El simple present. ¿Qué haces tú cuando? That's what we are doing. ¿Qué haces tú cuando tienes estrés? What do you do when you are with the stress? ¿Qué haces tú cuando tienes fiebre, cuando tienes dolor de estómago, cuando tienes gripa? That's what they are using. Yes, that's what we are using. Esa es la unidad número 3. What do you do? What do you do? Yo tenía pensado colocarle una actividad escrita, pero dije no. Ellos con lo que tienen que hacer en la unidad número 3 del Cambridge, hay suficiente. Yes, it's enough. So, es mejor que le dediquen tiempo al Cambridge, porque ahí van a practicar el listening, el speaking, el writing.
Profe.
Yes.
Pero es que cuando voy a entrar a la unidad de Cambridge me está pidiendo el código, porque es que ingreso y me mandas a las 2 unidades que ya hice en el primero y segundo semestre. Entonces me dice que para el otro, para ingresar al del otro módulo me está pidiendo el código que usted tiene, profe.
Profe, a mí también.
No me deja ingresar.
Lo que sucede es que a los estudiantes que le piden el código, son estudiantes que todavía no tienen no le ha llegado el código. A todos los alumnos no le ha llegado el código.
Bueno, pero ¿se acuerda que usted había dicho que los cambios hasta que podemos ingresar? A mí solo me aparecen los libros de los primeros semestres, no me aparece el de usted.
Se escucha entrecortada la conversation. Ayer. Se escucha entrecortada. A ver, jóvenes. Aquí tenemos a John Martínez.
Profe, no me deja. Ya le va aquí en el grupo del WhatsApp va a mandar cómo me sale
Sí,
el.
claro, aquí.
A ver cómo me sale. Dice que.
Su cédula termina en 62, John.
Sí, yes, profe.
Ah, ok, muy bien. Sí, bueno, pero usted, es raro que le pida a usted
Mira el grupo del WhatsApp, profe, cómo me sale.
Ok, un momento. Yo voy a mirar.
Profe, y a mí me sale igual que el compañero.
O sea, le está pidiendo código. ¿Y usted por dónde? Usted entra por el link que yo di de Cambridge Splash. Aquí, John.
Profe, sí, mire, ahí mandé la otra foto, profe, donde me salen las dos unidades, pero no me sale la tercera. Dice curso online, pero me sale la unidad 2E, pero no me sale la 3.
No. A ver, cuando hablamos curso en línea Touchstone 2E, nivel 1A, nivel 1A es el nivel 3 y el 1B es el nivel 4. Y si usted le da clic al trabajo en línea del 2A, aquí me acaba de enviar variedades. Miren, pero es que estos libros son del año pasado. A usted no le sale, ¿verdad?
No me
Mayerly,
sale, a mí
le
me
sale.
dice que no tienes una clase activa, seleccione unirse a una clase arriba y luego ingrese al código de clase. Entonces le coloco,
Profe,
únete a una clase y me sale que me pide el código de Cambridge. Dice, ingrese el código de la clase que le dio su maestro de escuela.
sí, profe, yo no sé si tenga algo que ver, pero es que por lo menos yo es primera vez que lo hago por medio del link. Las dos veces anteriores el profesor fue quien nos dio el código de la clase, entonces no sé si de pronto sea eso.
Bueno, entonces será pasarle el código a ustedes por el interno, para que usted lo tenga ahí y cuando se lo pide usted lo coloca. Porque ya el curso está creado, ya usted está en las clases. Entonces vamos a
Porque
ver.
uno lo coloca una sola vez y ya él no le vuelve a pedir más. Él le pide el código una sola vez, uno lo ingresa y ya uno queda inscrito y ya uno sigue
Claro,
haciendo sus
eso es
clases.
como cuando uno de pronto va a activar una cuenta o le piden la contraseña. ¿Cuál es la contraseña? Está listo, ya no se lo va a pedir más.
Sí, él no me pide más. Entonces, he estado ingresando, pero me sale así, entonces no me deja entrar a la clase de campus.
Sí, entonces vamos a hacer algo como este aquí.
Good morning, teacher. A mí también estoy en la misma situación que los compañeros.
Sí, entonces
Me puedo-
vamos a hacer algo. Yo voy a comenzar a pasarles a ustedes el código para acá. Se lo paso al personal.
Indira Escorcia, profe.
Sí, momento. Yo
Profe, yo también tengo el mismo problema que los demás compañeros.
sí, claro. Entonces aquí estamos.
Profesor, y si lo envía por el grupo de WhatsApp y que cada uno busque su nombre y ahí aparece. Solamente quite la parte donde salga la cédula de la persona y ya.
Ujú. Déjame ver acá. Deme un minutico acá. Ok.
Profe, también será, disculpe, ¿será que también lo puede mandar por aquí, por Teams?
¿Por dónde?
Por el chat de Teams.
Sí. Ya estoy aquí trabajando en esto. Ok, jóvenes, yo le voy a pasar a ustedes el documento por el WhatsApp y le voy a pasar el documento por el Teams. Esos son los únicos códigos que han llegado. Ayer tenían que llegar, de pronto hoy me pasan el resto de eso. Usted se lo voy a pasar aquí enseguida.
Teacher, ¿y hasta cuándo hay plazo para entregar esta tercera unidad?
La unidad 3 y la unidad 4, ustedes tienen plazo hasta el 20 de octubre. O sea, tienen tiempo suficiente, no se vayan a dormir. Yo ya lo voy a compartir por el WhatsApp y ahora lo voy a compartir por Cambridge. Esos son los únicos códigos que han llegado, ¿ok? De 3A. Bueno, jóvenes, entonces los dejo para que trabajen eso y después me informan, ¿ok? Cualquier cosa.
Profesor, disculpe, ¿puede pasar los códigos por acá por Teams?
Ya lo pasé por Teams.